Good evening and welcome back to Building with the Boys. Exciting. It is Wednesday, which means it is Disney Dolls House Day. Now, my subscription hasn't turned up. Don't know why, but none of my subscriptions have turned up. So we were due a lot of deliveries this week. Not a single one's turned up, which makes me think there's a problem with the sorting office of the mail at my end rather than it is with the model companies, unless all of them have just gone really bad at once, which I don't think is the case because I've seen a lot of you have received your subs. So I think it's a problem with the mail on our end. However, we were able to pick up issue 2 in the store today, and as I've said before, I don't mind having a second issue 1, I don't mind having a second issue 2. I just want to get on with it. So we will be cracking this open and we will be getting this done. This is a difficult one because there's not a ton to do in this, but it's a lot to do at the same time, which might not make a lot of sense, but what I'm saying is the actual impact you're going to have is minimal. We're adding some fascia to the doors, but the effort that's involved in that is quite a lot because you've got to make sure this fits. So this isn't one piece that's turned up that just slots straight in. You're going to have to trim this to size. You might be lucky and the pieces that have been cut might go in first time, but it's unlikely. It's likely you're going to have to make slight trims to these to get them to fit in. But it shouldn't be too difficult. Now, there's something I've been asked quite a lot, and thank you for all your comments. Again, I tried to get back to all of you. But I was asked about the glue that I recommended, the Power Gel, and why can't I just use super glue? So you can. I mean, this is the thing. You can use super glue. I'm not stopping you. You can use what you want. But there's a reason why I say Power Gel, not super glue. I've actually got Power Gel and super glue here, both from the same company. I'm going to show you a very simple demonstration of super glue and Power Gel, and you'll see why I advise the one and not the other. And it should make a bit more sense, hopefully. But there is a very good reason why I say use Power Gel. Here are the two glues. So we have Loctite Super Glue Power Gel, that's the black tube. And we have Loctite Super Glue, that's just normal super glue. So if you need to add a very small drop of super glue to something, precision parts, like you would have done with the doors, with the Power Gel, there we go. So a tiny little bead comes out exactly where you need it to be. Now if you were to try and attempt the same thing with the super glue, this is going to happen. So you get this giant puddle a very runny liquid super glue. It's going to go everywhere. It's going to be all over your model. It's not going to go where you want it to go. You have no control over it. Power Gel, you can choose exactly where it's going to go. Super glue, it's just going to run everywhere. So hopefully now you understand why I say use Power Gel and not super glue, because super glue is just a liquid. It will just pour everywhere. And for when you're doing tiny pieces with this, what you can do is you can squeeze out a squirt of Power Gel into one of the plastic trays the parts come in, and you can use the cocktail stick method to just take a little bit of it and apply it. You can't do that with a liquid. If you do it with a liquid, it will just absorb into the cocktail stick. You're not going to get that same effect. If you try and apply you can apply Power Gel straight to the parts if you want to, because it's thick enough that it'll stay where it is. You try and do that with super glue, it's just going to go everywhere. It really is. And it's super glue is fine for kind of a lot of purposes. For this, no, don't recommend it. So now you see why I say use Power Gel. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into this and see what we've got this month and, well, this week, and take a look at our first figure with Mickey. Here we are. Here is everything that comes inside pack 2. All these pieces here. Now, we're not going to use all of these pieces. We're only using these pieces, and these pieces. All of this will be used in issues 3 and 4. We get some sandpaper. We get a pair of tweezers. Now, I've not looked at these yet, so I don't know what they're like, but I'm not expecting wonders. Do you know what? They're not bad. They're not bad. A lot of the time, the tweezers you get with these, the tips are too big, and I don't think those are bad at all. So those are actually quite nice for what's essentially a freebie. And then, of course, we have got our first character for the house in Mickey. It's very lovely looking. It's very nice indeed. So there we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the doors from issue 1, and we are going to be fitting this trim to the doors. Okay, so we're going to take our part out first, and we need to separate this using our craft knife. Now, if you haven't got a craft knife yet, you're going to need one. Now, I believe this shouldn't be too difficult to do. No, it's nice and easy. If you've got a decent scalpel or a craft knife, you shouldn't have any major problems with this at all. There we are. There's a piece off. Now, again, temptation's going to be snap that off. Don't. You got a craft knife. Use it. So it's like, avoid yourself some damage and just use your craft knife. There we go. So that was relatively painless. So that's what we've got. So we've got these two pieces here, and these are blue pieces going to be sitting inside the interior of the door frame. Once you have all your pieces off, you'll notice that you've got the parts where it was joined to the original frame. So you're going to take the sandpaper that was given you with this issue, and you're just going to buff these down. And I mean, you don't have to go nuts on this, because what you don't want to do is put pressure on it and snap it, because this is a very thin piece of wood. So you're just going to sand it down until it's nice and smooth to the touch and there's no bumps. You'll see the difference. You can run your finger along it, you'll feel the bumps. Run your sandpaper along it so you can run your fingers along and it's nice and smooth. Trim the parts. We're going to fit them loosely to the frame. Now, I can already see it doesn't fit. It's too snug, it's too tight. So I'm going to have to trim a tiny piece off the ends of these. And when I say tiny, I mean tiny. So don't go nuts. If you've got to trim these, tiny piece, try it. If it doesn't fit, tiny piece, try it again, and keep doing it that way. Do not lop a great lump off this, because it's easy to take a little bit more off. It's impossible to put a little bit more back on. So be very careful. Now we've trimmed off fascia, it fits nicely to the door. We are going to use the same cocktail and dabs of glue technique to glue it to the edge of the frame. And then we are going to repeat the exact same process with the bottom part of our fascia complete. So we've done the lower and the upper, the blue. I think really brings that door to life now, rather than just being a plain white door. We've now got some accents to it and some character to it. What we're going to do next is the exact same thing, but we're going to do it with white and we're going to do it on the pink side. So I'm not going to film all of that again. I'm going to carry on with that, and then I'm going to show you at the end exactly how these doors look. Now is the pink fascia, or the white fascia of the pink door done, and there we see we have that there. So that one's complete. So now what we've got to do is the same process for a fourth time, and then we will be done. So those are our doors complete. These are the pink with the white fascia, and these are the white the blue fascia side, and they really do make these doors come to life. And I think it's things like that that are going to make this house gorgeous. It's these little details that they put the time and effort into, rather than just have a pink door. We've now got the trim to it, and it looks really rather lovely. So that is it for issue 3 pretty much. These are lovely. I think that really makes it stand out, really makes it pop. I think that's gorgeous. It's quite an involved issue. Now I edit, so you don't have to watch all of it. So please don't think that you can do this in 5 minutes. This takes a while. And honestly, take your time with the trimming. Trim a tiny piece. If it still doesn't fit, go back and do it again. It's better to do that than lop a lump off and now all of a sudden it doesn't fit at all. You've got a huge gap in it. So that's what you need to do. Now, I do have a second one of these arriving in the post. So if you have chopped your fascia up a little bit too much, I've got a spare. So it will be first come, first served. So I will send you the fascia piece, because I mean, if there are multiple people, they can each have the piece of fascia they need. I'm not exactly Scott of the Exchequer, but I can certainly stretch to a postage stamp and an envelope. So if you have trimmed too much, I'll post it out to you. Tell me which of one of the trims you need. I'll stick it in the post. When my second set 2 arrives, I'll send it out to you. It's fine. But again, just take your time with this. And that's all you need to do. Now, I have got something to show you as well. So, because again, this is now done, you're going to be waiting for your next ones, which is going to be a long month for a lot of people. I have got some complete pictures of the rooms. So I'm going to show you what they are, and we're going to start with Mickey's room. So Mickey's room looks really rather nice, and you can see, if you look carefully at that picture, you can see in the background Steamboat Willie is on the bookshelf, Pluto's bowl is in there. Lovely little Easter eggs you can see. You can see a second armchair and a sofa as well. Gorgeous, really nice. The next one we're going to look at is the Frozen hallway. Now, those of you familiar with Frozen, particularly the sequel, might notice some of the paintings on the wall of what they're of. And inside that dining room, inside that hallway, you can't really see it, but right at the back, there is a staircase down into the basement where you can access Pooh's basement. But gorgeous. The Frozen hallway is really nice. That purple is really, really good. We're going to look at what currently is my favourite room in the house now, which is Alice's kitchen. So much going on inside this kitchen, it's insane. So you've got the if you look carefully at every single one of those teapots and little jars, they're all something. So in the background you can see, and also on the table, there are two little pots that look like Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I just think it's those little details that make this thing gorgeous. And there's the Queen of Hearts things all over the place, and really nice. Staying downstairs, we're going to go outside for the part that pulls out, which is Winnie the Pooh's garden. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not blown away by Winnie the Pooh's garden. I don't think there's enough going on in it for my liking, but it is what it is. Now we're going to go upstairs and we are going to take a look at Ariel's bathroom. Again, Ariel's bathroom is a beautiful thing. I mean, it really is. Everything down to, I mean, the detailing on this, again, if you look at the taps on the bath, they're little shells. You've got the statue of Eric in there. And everywhere you look, there's a little bit more. And I just think that's absolutely gorgeous. Now we're going to move next door and we're going to go to Cinderella's bedroom. Cinderella's bedroom's gorgeous. But as princess rooms go, that's pure princess. So it really is. That's a very princessy room, and you can see again, if you look in there, all the clocks are set to midnight. You've got the dress. You've also got the glass slipper. Gorgeous, gorgeous thing. Now we're going to move over to the Aristocats music room. Again, the instruments in there and little Easter eggs. You can see on top of the piano there is a statue of the Siamese cat from the Aristocats, and Parisian paintings around the room. Gorgeous thing. The piano is a lovely thing. Now we're going to go upstairs and we are going to go to Peter Pan's children's room. Gorgeous. You can see Nana's kennels in there. You can see in the background there is the lantern that Tinkerbell was caught in. That lights up as well, so that is electric. That will light up. Next we're going over to Belle's tea room. So that's Belle's tea room, which again, it's a lovely thing. It really is, and you can see all of the kind of things where you can see Lumiere and Cogsworth and Chip and Mrs. Pot in there. Gorgeous thing. And then finally, we're going to go over to Donald's playroom. Donald's playroom's lovely. There's a lot going on. It's quite manic, but the more you look at it, you can see there is a maritime theme there. And a nautical theme. You can see all the anchors and the oars and things like that, because Donald Duck's sailor outfit. It's a gorgeous thing. But this house is going to be beautiful. It really is. When this is finished, this is going to be absolutely lovely. Thank you for all of your kind comments on the last video. I really hope you've enjoyed this one. It was so nice hearing that a lot of you are coming to this for the first time, and that it gave you a bit of confidence to do it, and that's a good thing. And I'm not just saying this. You can do this, okay? You can. So even if you've just done this one and thought, oh, this is a little tougher than I thought it was going to be, you've learned. So the next time you got to put fascia on a door, you know how to do it. and you will pick up these skills. And you must have noticed yourself, if you've done issue 2, you must have noticed by the time you got to the last panel of fascia, you flew through it a lot quicker than all the rest because you're learning. So you're picking up these little skills that you need, and it's really good. So I really hope you've enjoyed that. I really hope you've enjoyed your builds. If you have, give us a thumbs up. It helps the channel a lot. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, and you can see all of these as and when they come through. I don't know when my subscription's going to turn up. I'm not going to keep getting these from the news agents because I'm just buying duplicates at this point. Maybe we'll get 3. If we're a million miles away from where that's going to be, we might get some. The one thing I will say before I go, you are going to need some clamps. So score yourself some of those before your next pack turns up. Get yourself some clamps or some little G-clamps, because in that pack we are going to need to clamp together a fairly hefty piece of wall and leave it about 24 hours. So get yourself some clamps in time for that. There are other builds on the channel if you'd like to see some of the things we do that are a little bit more boy themed, but if you want to go see those, not all of them. We're also building a small doll's house room at the moment with a study. The first video of that's up. Go take a look at it. So if you are looking for something to do between issues, they're a lot of fun. And again, don't be intimidated by any of these things, because you can do them, right? If you've been confident enough to do the doors, you can do all of it. You can, okay? But that's it. So we'll see you next time. And again, please give us a like and subscribe if you want to see the rest of the build. And we'll see you next time. In a world where you can be anything, just be nice.